What's going on, good people? I am Trayvon Miles alongside the Jeff Harris.
And welcome into the Delmarva Sports Insider, the only show giving you in-depth analysis to all local sports here on the shore.
That's exactly right. We've got a great show ahead. So without any further ado, let's get right into it, right? Coming up, I went to the second day of Ravens training camp to check out Harbaugh and the guys. It's pretty fun. That guy's pretty good. My report later on in the show.
Can it be football season already?
Yeah.
Man, now, another episode of After the Whistle featuring one of the Eastern Shore's best. You see me there.
Yeah, that's
and
him.
I'm going to introduce him later. Thank you so much, Trey. We're going to introduce you to Sam Todd later on in the show.
And after weeks, months, years, heck, years of
Really was
speculations,
years, yeah.
It's finally done. Manny Machado out of Baltimore. We'll discuss that and much, much more a little bit later on tonight. Welcome to the show you know and love, of course, Delmarva Sports Insider. This is different. We do not have a very jam-packed show today, but we do have something good and very different. It's been a long week. I kind of feel like I've been everywhere, man, and we've been doing a lot of traveling this week.
A lot of traveling, but it's fun, so not jam-packed. We had a lot of local stuff. We had some national stuff going on, and a good mix of sports, too. We saw some basketball, some football, some baseball. So much
a little bit of
going
everything.
on.
It's that time of the year where it feels like we're getting into a little bit of everything, but we can't start anywhere else except for the Youth Care Summer League in Snow Hill. Two familiar teams going at it, one out of Pocomoke, one out of Snow Hill. So we know these guys know each other. Aaron's and YCC in action this week. And I tell you what, Aaron's would get on the board early, courtesy of this guy, Nigel Houston. This guy's coming up on his junior year. He is going to have a big season for Pocomoke, but the YCC defense would have an answer. Jay Ayers gets the turnover, driving through the lane, no defense around, finishes with the layup. He had 13 points in this one. YCC up 12, but the Aaron's defense picking it up. Tayon Matthews picking Curtis Blake's pocket, taking it to the rim through the traffic. He gets the layup to go to the second half. Nigel Houston hitting the jumper for two. He had a game-high 19. I'm going to talk about him a little bit later. Not a comeback in the cards for Aaron. Zaire Johnson, this guy also going to have an amazing year. Knocks it down from deep. His Youth Care Center goes on to beat Aaron's by a final of 51-32. And I really, really wanted to say, I had a conversation about this young man, Nigel Houston. He's going on, he's a sophomore this past year. He's going up on his junior year. Already one of the best players in the Bayside last year. This year, he looks like a little bit bigger. He looks a little bit stronger. We see right now in Summer League that he is going to have a great season. I also want to touch on Snow Hill's potential. These guys are going to be really good again.
Dangerous.
We saw last year how many
Sneaky.
times did we predict? Who do we predict to win the 1A? I predicted Washington. A lot of people predicted Chrisfield, and who came out of the 1A?
Yeah, that's right. We saw Snow Hill.
Snow Hill came out of the 1A. These guys, I think, lost some talent from last year, but they will get even better. We'll have to see what Drew Halcyon is doing or what his plans are. If he is on that squad, I don't see why they don't make it right back into the 1A East Championship game.
And I think one of the biggest reasons why they were so successful is because, a lot of people took them for granted.
Yes,
and a lot of teams,
yes.
came into Snow Hill and they were on the road, thought they might beat them, but then this team is hanging with them and hanging with them.
Around,
All of a sudden, it's the fourth quarter and they find themselves down.
Exactly.
And they can't come back.
Exactly.
And then they made a state finals run.
Exactly.
A state championship run. But also happening more and more basketball action as the Summer League begins to wind down. Now, on court one, about 10 feet away, the Shore Shots taking on the Cats in more YCC Summer League action. Early success for Delmar in transition. The pass finds TJ Gibson, battles into the lane and finishes at the hoop for two. On the other end, Courtray Fontaine, we're going to hear this name all season long, takes matters into his own hands, cruises to the rack and gets the and one to put the Shore Shots up big in the first, and the Shore Shots running away with things off the inbounds pass. Justin Cohen makes quick work in the catch and lay in. Second half action, the Cats finding some pretty ball movement.
Chrisfield looking tired.
Look at this in the corner. The ball finds Cameron Bozeman for the triple. It's just easy. Now to finish things off and threading the needle pretty much. Nice pass here. Kai Sterling, who lays it in and puts the icing on the win for the Shore Shots. They take this one 52-31. And check it out. Impressive play. And what are we going to say about Chrisfield this year? They're going to be pretty good.
Yeah, we just talked about 1A and how Snow Hill stacks up against people, but I think Chrisfield will stack up pretty well. I know it's Summer League, and I don't want to be the old man, but those guys weren't really hustling in that clip. That's one thing that I'm concerned about that team. They have the talent. Are they going to work hard to beat a team like Snow Hill? You know, they got Fontaine and they have Cohen and,
of course, yeah.
and the Waters brothers all coming back. So that is definitely a team that we can see do some things, and they're definitely going to win some games this year in the Bayside. But you know, between them and Snow Hill, I think it's gonna come down to hustle, and you never know. So you know, we'll see what happens.
Something about Crisfield that you can't necessarily say about all high school teams is that home court advantage matters.
Goodness.
When you go to
Oh,
Crisfield
goodness.
High School, if
Yeah.
you've never been there, you're
Yeah.
gonna feel that crowd.
Yeah.
They line up hours before the game
Yes,
to
they
get
do.
in.
And
It
it's
is
not like a
small
lot of
gym.
seats. Yeah.
Small gym. The media, all of us are right there on the baseline. So home court advantage is going
Yeah.
to be working their way. We were at a game last year, Washington-Crisfield,
Yeah.
triple at the buzzer.
Yeah.
Dorian Stevens, what
Yeah.
a game.
Yes,
So I
amazing.
expect that all season long.
Exactly right. But I'll tell you what, who is the one team that came in there and beat Crisfield when it mattered the most at home, one of their only home losses of the year?
Are you
Snow
going to
Hill.
say Snow Hill? Yeah.
Exactly. So we'll see what happens.
Nice work
man.
there. Try to see what you did.
It's
Nice.
fun to talk about. It's fun to talk about it right now. But right now we got to take our first commercial break. When we return, I took the trip to good old Owings Mills to check out the Ravens in their first week of training camp. That's coming back when DSI comes back.
I'm Justin Cohen. I'm from Crisfield High School, and you're watching the Delmarva Sports Insider.